Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into NFL Week 10 of Mafia Bets here on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. This is a Bills Mafia-based sports betting show where we will talk all about the Buffalo Bills matchup, give you the ins, the outs, the whys, the why nots for this week's betting lines and matchups, and why you should either hammer a bet or stay as far away from it as you possibly can. My name is Joe Miller, and you can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired, alongside my co-host, that guy right there, Dan Frederick, who you can find on Twitter at Buffalo Freddy. He is our professional sports gambler.
Maybe that's the way it really is.
Please do us a favor. Please like, please subscribe, whatever platform you're consuming this presentation on. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications button. It does help us out, so please do it right now. Hit those buttons. The Buffalo Bills, they're on a 2-0 win streak. I have worn the Corey Bojorquez jersey the last 2 weeks. I only get 8 wins in that jersey, Dan. So I'm not going to wear it 8 straight because it is number 9. And they've lost on game 9 every time I've worn it all the way to game 9. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to keep it in the bag. But
maybe this is the game to use it because, I don't really think there's a chance we can lose this game. I mean,
that's why I don't want to wear it. I don't want to wear it because
I'd rather use it against a cake opponent and break the curse there than play it.
No, this isn't week 9. This would be week 3. It only makes it to week 8. So I get 8. I've gone 8-0 in the Boho twice, two different years, and on week 9 they've lost both times. So I'm not going to wear it 8 straight. I'm just not going to do it.
Boho jersey for the Super Bowl. Let's go.
That's exactly that through the entire playoffs. So I'm going to save it for games that we need it, and hopefully it works out. But last week was not kind to us here on Mafia Bets, Dan. Dan is holding up a sign. This says no more bad juju.
What the heck was that? Juju Smith-Schuster crushed the Bills almost every time he played them ever. He's hit over his line that he had every week for the entire season. He needed 2 catches with Patrick Mahomes throwing in the ball. He played in 70% of the snaps. He was on the field the entire game. Can't do it. There were more signs for that bet hitting than maybe anything I've ever put money on.
Right. Yeah.
Then they put Hollywood Brown on the injury report. That goes into it. And was that them kind of maybe it was really the game plan there? Was the ball to go to Hollywood Brown, and that was just a bit of a ruse? I don't know, but I'm pissed off all week about that because we won a whopping 7 units last week in our FanDuel account, which a win's a win.
Up is better than down.
Most bettors lose almost every week. We only won 7 units, but
Right.
Juju gets 1 more catch. We win, 200 units overall because we put him in every parlay imaginable. There was 7 parlays that missed by Juju not getting another catch. Come on. Now, I probably overbet him. I put him in way too many things and relied on the week with him, which is a mistake, plain and simple. And I make them. Everyone makes them. But, man, we missed a lot. I was really convinced with that bet. And
it happens, but this is exactly why Dan likes to tell everybody that listens and watches this show to bet in units. Don't bet necessarily in amount of dollars. And so pick 100 units, monetize those units if you're going to bet with money, penny, nickel, dime, dollar, whatever it is, whatever's safe for you to afford without missing a rent payment, without not being able to feed your kids. Stick to that amount of units. Here on this show, it's 100. Do not overbet. You don't have to bet. Don't chase your losses, and please be responsible. And for God's sakes, if you've got a gambling problem, please seek help. But
this helps. We snuck in an under on the Bills game versus Kansas City, which this is probably one of the things I was more confident in as well. This kind of snuck in. But I had this in a couple parlays that did all right. But this one here, we mentioned that specifically on the show.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Travis Kelce, plus 380. So that's as good as almost hitting 4 bets right there, hitting that alone. So that helped out the week a lot. Josh with his 2 rushing touchdowns. Superstar Superman Josh is going to come out against the Chiefs almost anytime we play them. I do not like, besides Hoyt, obviously, we don't even need to get into that. It's terrible.
Yeah, tough.
I don't like what I saw from the Chiefs in this game. I don't think they gave us their best shot. I really don't. They didn't double Bosa at all, and he was getting pressure all day. All day. He was getting pressure nonstop, and they didn't double him, almost like they purposely were leaving that off film to me. They didn't run the ball much at all. I know Pacheco was hurt,
Nope.
but they started out, they had a first drive or two, they ran the ball a little bit, and then they didn't. I didn't see the usual Chiefs scheme a guy wide open. I know we had better horses. We talked about this on the show last week, how the Bills had better corners in this game, and maybe that's also why I bet Juju, because I thought there was going to be, our third corner on a player like that. But they just didn't scheme the middle of the field wide open like they've done to us every other game before. Do we really think that's how it's going to be in the playoffs? I think they held a little bit back. Now, everybody wants to win a football game, right?
Yeah.
But they care more about the playoffs. It's almost like how the NBA is these days. They're sandbagging guys and sitting left and right. And I think the Chiefs do it regularly. They held a lot back, and the Bills showed a lot. I hope that they held on to some.
Yeah. The good thing is first of all, right now the Chiefs are sitting outside the playoff picture and looking in. And as much as it's fun to go, well, but it's the Chiefs. Well, they're also behind the Chargers and the Broncos, who won again, and the Broncos. So there's the AFC West is not going to send 3 teams to the playoffs. So the way that it's going, the Chiefs are going to be lucky to make a wild card. Not lucky. They're going to fight to make a wild card. There's a good chance the Bills won't see the Chiefs in the playoffs if we make the playoffs, because clearly it's not necessarily guaranteed that we're going to make the playoffs either. But I think what I liked from this game, just because you brought it up momentarily, Rashee Rice is a monster, and then Xavier Worthy with that speed. To see Maxwell Hairston run stride for stride, almost like giving him the, where are you going, bro? Like, are you running somewhere? And it was almost funny to watch him run alongside Xavier Worthy. It was effortless.
Yeah.
And then when you've got a healthy, hopefully at that point, if we see them again, Christian Benford that can, potentially hold down Rashee Rice, and you've got Xavier Worthy's speed covered. The one then you have to worry about is Travis Kelce, who always gives the Bills, and everybody fits, but it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. So, do you want to lead into this week's football game?
Sure. Yeah, let's get into it. I think half of us forget we're even playing this week because we're playing the Dolphins. It's just not even.
I'm a little concerned. The Buffalo Bills are traveling to Miami. They're in Miami right now,
it's gonna be hot.
along with half of Bills Mafia down in Miami for this football game. And just looking at the injury report real quick, Christian Benford is questionable after being limited on Friday in practice. Bernard, full participant Friday. Bosa, no designation. Bosa, full participant, no designation. James Cook, full participant. This is big, no designation. Epinesa did not practice. He had a concussion, which I didn't even realize he was hurt. I don't remember him going out of that Kansas City game.
Huge hit on Mahomes. I
don't know when it was, but
he is out. They probably noticed it.
Yeah, he is out. Taron Johnson is questionable. Daquan Jones is questionable. Josh Palmer is questionable. Jordan Phillips is going to play. Shaq Thompson is out. They've also called up Dane Jackson, and they've called up everybody's favorite, Balin Spector. So the injury report, Cook being healthy, is big. The question is they going to have him on a pitch count with that ankle sprain, or is a toe, whatever it is? We'll see.
That goes into how we bet this week for sure.
That is
again. I don't tell Joe what I pick. In advance, Joe does not know the things that I am picking. I just kind of bring them up as we go.
100%.
And
so what you got for us?
James Cook pitch count is definitely something that I'm concerned about. And so I did not take his over for the entire game. I didn't take his yardage the way we have clockwork. We'll get into that. I sit everyone. Just sit the team. If they are not 85% plus, just go grind out. I want to see the Bills win an ugly game 24-14 and that's
not ugly. That's a 10-point, that's a 2-possession win. That's
always we 7 minutes left in the game, we score another touchdown to go up 10 points. It always looks like a field goal game, and then we score another. But for us versus this team, or like the Jets, a good win versus them is a 25-point win all the time.
Right. Is the FanDuel line still 9.5, or is it moved?
It was 9.5 as of a couple hours ago. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's insane. There's no. I do you feel like I can't imagine the Bills covering this 9.5 spread?
I'd say
the Dolphins. Their defense is trouble, but their offense looks better without Tyreek Hill in it.
Yeah, but now the Bills used to double Tyreek, and they'd play that zone coverage that the only thing he had was those 17-yard out routes that he would hit all day.
Right.
Those aren't there. So now you can do that to Waddle.
True.
And you have the speed to cover Waddle. And Benford, Benford's a good corner. He's having a down season. This game, you need the speed of Hairston versus Waddle. Who's their number 2? Who's their number 3? Who's their number 4 receiver? Washington.
I actually don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I had to look it up earlier. They're not good. So
yeah, there was a couple guys that I used to be somewhat afraid of that actually are no longer there. And Darren Waller obviously is on IR. So he won't be necessarily a problem. But Achane is always going to be
Achane's a problem. So. They've been stopping Achane enough. He had 7 receptions last game against us. They had a clear game plan for that. So a couple things that I do like this game.
Yeah.
Because James Cook may not need to or play late in the game, he may be on a pitch count. I trust this coaching staff to when a player needs to rest. Like they're consistently not playing players when they're hurt. Yep. Look at what they've done with Kincaid lately. It's cost me bets because like he's gone in, done really well in the first quarter, and then he goes sits on the bench. So there's a line of James Cook first quarter rushing yards of 25 yards. I put that in. Instead of going the whole game, which his line was just about total for the game for rushing and receiving, it was 97 yards. So basically 4 times of what 25 yards is. I figured they're going to come out. They're going to rush it down their throat like they've done every game. Let Cook get going. 25 yards, I think he hits that pretty easily. So I bet that just as if it was like the game line. We had mentioned that dump offs to Achane. He had 7 last game. His over-under on receptions is 4.5. I think if they're ahead, they're going to be rushing and dumping the ball to Achane. I think if they're behind, they're going to be dumping the ball to Achane. So 4.5, sure. We took that. One flyer, if James Cook is on a pitch count, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ray Davis, anytime touchdown right now is plus 800. That's worth just throwing that out there. A couple units, sure. Plus 800. If he plays the second half for whatever reason, or God forbid, James Cook's ankle flares up. Who's getting the ball a lot? Not that Davis has done much this year. Also, that leads me to another thing I'm not happy about from last week. I'm not happy a lot. We know this. Ty Johnson. I talked about it on this show. Give me some Ty Johnson lines. Anything. There was nothing. You couldn't even bet his anytime touchdown. What is that, FanDuel? Yeah. Come on. But now they've got lines available for all the running backs this week, at least for touchdowns. There's nothing available for Ray Davis in yardage. There's nothing available for Ollie Gordon, who had a great game against us last week. He had 50, or last time we played, he had 50-some yards and a touchdown. But I can't put a unit on Ollie Gordon if they want to just run it down our throat again. But last week, Ty Johnson, he did exactly what I said was going to happen. They're going to have to start throwing the ball out of the backfield. He scores a touchdown. And I was looking to, up until kickoff, to put anything on Ty Johnson anytime touchdown. Wouldn't let it happen, and of course he does it.
Yep. Figures like clockwork.
Yep. So we're not touching Dalton Kincaid. Still not going to do it. I probably don't. I will mention Dalton Kincaid maybe every week on the show. We're not putting a single unit on him the rest of the season. Because it has worked like clockwork. If we put anything on him, he has a bad game. If we don't, he has a great game. His line's 45.5. I like that line. We're not going to bet it, but I like that line.
So there's a little bit of bad mojo on Dalton for you as well. So
it's been tricky. I mean, he's gone off for 100 yards. 2 of his last 4 games, but then the 2 we bet he like barely played because due to his injury. So we're not touching it.
So, and then your lines on both Ray Davis and Ali. Looking for them.
I'm just looking for them. I'm looking for lines on both of them. And if they become available, I'm throwing a sprinkle no matter what on both backup running backs, just because there's a high possibility in this game that backups are playing later in the game for multiple reasons, injuries or the score.
Right. So looking at your review, James Cook, first quarter rushing yards over 25, Achane over 4.5 receptions against the Bills, Ray Davis anytime touchdown plus 800, and not touching Dalton Kincaid with a 10-foot pole. Moving on to the overreaction bet of the week, which for us on this program and this network, the overreaction bet is the bet that you're staying away from, the one that's flashing in lights and that they're parading in front of you. Hey, look at this one. And Dan's like, don't look at that one. Stay away from it. What you got?
The sports books have really juiced up one player that I like. This player, I think he can certainly go over this line. Don't get me wrong. And I miss this like overreaction often because I'm just making you guys aware of a player that seems inflated to me.
Yeah.
But there's a rookie tight end, Rondé Gadsden, who has been doing very good for a little while. But now they've got his over-under yardage at, I've seen it anywhere between 52.5 and 55.5.
It's a lot.
for a rookie tight end. That's a real lot. That's more than Dalton Kincaid.
It's a bigger number than Dalton. That's right.
So
who's coming off
I want to make you
200-yard
guys
games.
aware, like that's too high. That's too high for a rookie tight end. Just be aware of that line for sure.
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid coming off at least 100-yard game and is playing against a bad Miami Dolphins defense that just traded away one of their best players in Jalen Phillips, who said, and I quote, "Getting traded from the Dolphins is the greatest day of my life."
Yeah,
holy smokes.
That's brutal to say about your ex-team. I don't think he's going to be their legend of the game anytime soon.
No. Which, by the way, Willis McGahee was supposed to be ours this week, and they bagged it. Yeah,
I don't know anything about that. I have a lot to say that's not great about Willis McGahee.
It was on Twitter that he was going to be the legend of the game, and then he ended up not. Like the fans kind of like the Mafia went out, and they were like, "What is happening?" Yeah.
Oh, I would let that charge. He's terrible. I'm sorry. I hope this goes viral. Me saying it. Willis McGahee's an awful person. Just Google some of the things he's done and his family, his child support, what he said about the Bills when he left. Get out of here. I don't want that kind of human anywhere near me.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on Twitter, and then people were freaking out about it. And then he was not. We were obviously at the game, and he was not there for the legend of the game. So the underreaction bet, the opposite of the overreaction. Stay away from the overreaction bet. Underreaction bet, the bet that nobody's talking about, the one that you like a lot. What do you got for the underreaction bet?
So a player that we've mentioned on the show a ton of times, who had a really off week last week. Think we weren't betting him. Odunze versus his line's 52.5, which I most certainly am going to ladder that a little bit. He's playing the Giants. Giants are awful. They've got crazy scores against them. They've given up 30-some points 4 weeks in a row. Look at Chicago versus the Bengals game. That was just aired out like crazy a couple weeks ago. That was a great football game too. 52.5 for Odunze. Now, he doesn't have as much volume on him this week because he's coming off of a bit of a dud. That's a great time to pick up a line lower than it should be. I think his line should be in the mid-60s versus the Giants.
Gotcha.
So I'm taking a Doomsday.
So the underreaction or the overreaction bet of the week, Oronde Gadsden, stay away from him and his 52.5 yards under over. Underreaction bet, the one you want to be looking at is Roma Dunze over 52.5 yards because the Giants are awful. Hammer bet of the week, the one that you should be putting in every one of your parlays if possible.
Jahmyr Gibbs, many reasons why. Again, a player whose line is lower than it should be due to recency bias, and that's so common in the public in so many things, especially betting. He's got a couple different lines. You could pick kind of whatever one you want. I picked one of them specifically for the show. His over 97.5 total rushing and receiving combined versus the Commanders. Backup quarterback. The 27th ranked defense in the NFL. It's also in Washington in a little bit of a sloppy field. It's not terrible. It's not going to be a downpour to where you're hammering unders or anything like that, but it's not going to be a game that's ideal for throwing the ball downfield. It's a little bit of a drizzle, that 50 degree kind of crappy weather. That's good for running the football, right? That's great for running the football. Great. And he's coming off of not a great game. I think they'll try to. Who thought they were losing to Minnesota? I did not. I didn't bet that game. I literally, our overreaction last week, don't touch, was Minnesota because we didn't know what was going to happen.
That's right.
Yep. But the Lions just coming off a loss. When a team comes off an L, they get back to their basics. What's their basics? Gives the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. So over 97.5. In the other bets that we like for the week as well, there's another line that's in that game that I think is really low. The Commanders' corners are awful.
Before we get to the other bets of the week, I did just drop the Discord invite again into the comment section. So if you are a Discord person, we have a couple betting channels in our Discord, in the Overreaction Discord. It's in both the comment section and it's on Twitter right now. I'll make sure, again, it's in the show notes. Had a bunch of people join, and there's been some activity and some conversation and some community going on in the betting channels. Dan, you've been posting your bets, you've been posting your wins and some of your losses and stuff like that, and it's been fun to watch. So
with parlays, especially on the parlay one with the Discord.
Yeah,
if you're hitting 1 in 3 parlays, but every one's plus 500 or more, you're profitable. You're profitable, plain and simple. So like if you on Monday Night Football you lose, but on Thursday night you hit it. It looks like you're 1 for 2, but you're really up like 200 units, right? You're 200%.
Right.
FanDuel right now is offering a 30% bonus on the game that is overseas in Germany, right? I'm pretty sure this is across the board. Use your bonuses. 30% is a huge uptick. However, I really thought about who I wanted to pick for this game. The Falcons had the game for is Falcons versus Indy. I think a really good football game. I'm going to make sure I watch this. These overseas games have been awful football, but those are two, like, I think just second tier teams as of right now. At least their defenses are. They both have really good running backs that are superstars. Right now, anytime touchdown for Jonathan Taylor is minus 300. Like,
oh my gosh,
it's so likely, but I mean, you have to put in 300 units to win 100, even with the bonus of the plus 30%. It's just not worth it. Bijan hasn't scored in 3 straight games, and he was minus 135, so it got to about even money. But he hasn't scored in 3 games. He's playing against a team that doesn't really give up many rushing touchdowns in an area of the world where teams are consistently scoring less for whatever reason.
Right.
Now, I feel pretty much obligated to use that bonus, so I was trying to pick a player that made sense. I went with Drake London, who's got 5 touchdowns in 4 games. He
My
was
fantasy
already
team likes it.
Yep. Will you trade me one of these wide receivers I've been trying to get for you? Come on. Me and Joe have 2 of the stupidest fantasy teams imaginable in the same league. We're on a crash course for that championship, but all right.
It's gonna happen.
Drake London, it was plus 135, and he's got 5 touchdowns in 4 games. I want to use the bonus, so it juiced up to like plus 170. So I took that. Odunze, I can't copy and paste all that well, so I put Odunze for the underreaction. Colston Loveland, 1st round pick. I've been waiting for this guy to take off this year because
he's had moments. He flashed a couple times early in the season.
Ty Warren and him, 1-2 tight ends coming out of the draft this year. Warren's really taken off. We've talked about a bunch on the show. Colston Loveland is a player that I put some futures on this year to go over like 600 or 700 yards at really good money. And after this last week, I actually got offered a cash out finally. And if you're getting offered a cash out on a future, that means that you're likely to hit it.
That's right.
So Colston Loveland over 25.5 yards. I like. Drake May is playing Tampa. I don't know what to think about this Tampa game. My heart says Tampa's coming off a bye, and I like Baker Mayfield as player. He's a gun shooter, right?
Yes.
They're so hurt though. So Buka is going to be covered by Christian Gonzalez. So who's that really fast? Tez Johnson? I was looking for some lines on Tez Johnson in that game.
I think so.
Yeah, for Tampa. I didn't find anything yet, but Tez Johnson's basically their number 2 at this point, and with all the injuries that they have. So if you could find a player in that game who I didn't list here, but Tez Johnson may be somebody who goes deep. But Drake May over 241.5 passing. I think this game almost has to be a little bit of a shootout. Just coming off a bye week.
Booty's out, so I'd probably expect Stephon Diggs to get some run in this football game as well, right?
Thank you very much for mentioning Booty. But yeah, Booty, we got all of our bets voided with Booty last week. That was a real concern for me. And I felt again obligated to use Booty as the hammer of the week. Although all signs pointed to it being very good. He got hurt. It's happened to us 3 weeks in a row now. Somebody's gotten hurt, but every bet that we put on him, we got back. So we're just even on it. And if it would have happened in the second half of the game, though, we would have got crushed.
Lost it. Yep.
I mentioned that Detroit game. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 77.5. Make sure you watch the weather. If the weather gets worse, don't touch that. Right. But as of right now, I think that line's low for Amon-Ra. Also, his anytime touchdown is somewhere around even money. I think that's pretty good. He's touchdown artist.
Yep.
2 games I just don't see the teams losing is that Detroit versus the Commanders and the Bills versus Miami. I don't see either of those teams losing the game. So when I think a favorite is as close to a guarantee in football as there is to win a game, I like to take them and juice them with my parlays on their money line just to get a little bit better. Odds.
Yeah, I like it. So what Dan is telling you to do there is whenever you're building your parlays, just throw in the Bills money line and the Detroit money line, just because they're about as sure thing as you can get. So
not
just
sprinkle those in though. Yeah, you can just add them here and there. Or what I talked about a few episodes ago, where I like to build the same parlay twice where if they're offering a cash out, I take it and then I let the other one ride. I would do the same thing with the Bills or Detroit money line just as my second build of a parlay, because the more legs of a parlay you add, it grows exponentially.
Very good. So going over the other bets that you like this week, use the bonuses, he says, and he went with Drake London for the Germany game for his bonus. Roma Dunze over 52.5 yards. Colston, which is also the hammer bet of the week. Colston Loveland over 25.5 yards. Drake May over 241.5 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 77 if the weather holds up. And Bills and Detroit money line, add to your parlays, stack them, ladder them, do all that kind of stuff. What's that?
Jahmyr Gibbs is the person I'm hammering the most.
I'm that's right. Underreaction was Roma Dunze. My bad.
I really like that James Cook first quarter bet, though. If I was picking any one thing in that Bills game, or you could do first half as well. That's certainly an option, too, because hypothetically, the Bills don't get the ball first, and they have that stereotypical first drive the Bills do, where they just let a team get 13 plays down the field to score. That's going to eat up 9 minutes of clock. So the first half is also an option, which is going to be around 48 to 50 yards. But I still think James Cook goes over 90. I think it was 97 yards total for the game, just the way he's playing. I think
rushing and receiving. Yep.
But I think it's just easier to just take his first half because it's more likely he plays in that than he does the entire game, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they're up by a couple possessions, it's probably likely with him nursing an ankle injury, he's coming out of that football game. To your point, watching what the Bills have done so far, the staff has done so far to players this year, I would agree with that. Any final comments before I get us out of here, my friend?
Go in there, get the win, have a nice, simple game. Don't put too much on film. Don't let Waddle get behind you. You got to stop Achane. Just win the game and stay healthy. This is just one of those weeks. Just get by it and move on.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into NFL Week 10 of Mafia Bets here on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Again, everybody, this is for entertainment purposes only. Have fun. Bet. Know your limits. Stay within your limits. You don't have to bet. Don't chase your losses. Monetize units, only bet a specific amount of units, as Dan always tells you. He's given you the keys to how to do it successfully and safely. Stay within those boundaries. Set yourself boundaries and guardrails. Stay with it. But for all of us here at Overreaction, we appreciate you joining us, tuning in to all of our shows. What do we got tomorrow? The Overreaction post-game show. Monday, Off Tackle with John Fina. The Salen's Off Tackle with John Fina show. Tuesday, On the Beat. I don't have a guest yet for On the Beat. We'll find out who it is. Wednesday, 7 days to Sunday. And make sure you tune into Anthony Marino's pregame show, the walkthrough that dropped earlier this morning. But for me, for John, for Jerry, for Dan, for Zig, for Ant, for all of us here at Overreaction, appreciate you guys. Love you. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.